with Carol Dixon is all about life and how to live that life positively, productively, and prayerfully. After decades of ministry, Dr. Dixon is qualified to address any topic of life from a biblical perspective. Let's listen now as Dr. Dixon comes forth.
Well, hello. It's so good to be with you again. You know what? I tell you, this is a time that many are asking, what's my purpose? What am I supposed to do? I'm making decisions now, so I want to begin to move forward. Many of these questions cannot be answered until you first realize who you are. That is a foundation of moving forward into your purpose. So let's talk today about who are you. Only God determines who you really are. Nobody else, not even God, can determine whether the real you will ever be expressed in life. Psalms 139, verses 13 and 16 says, "For you did form my inward parts. Your eyes saw my unformed substance. And in your book, all the days of my life were written." Think about that. Before they ever took shape. When as yet there was none of them. Oh, that is so deep. That's the New King James Version. People all over the world ask this question: who am I? They are searching for both their individual identity and the purpose for their life. I've encountered believers who've lost sight of who they are simply because of something others have said to them. Things like, "You're a failure. You're a nobody. You'll never succeed." And we're told in Proverbs 23 and 7 that as a man, and that holds no gender, male and female, man is God's creation. As a man thinks in his heart, so is he. So in other words, you will be the person you believe in your heart to be. And the only valid source for determining your identity is the Word of God. Yeah. Jesus was quoting the Word of God when he declared, "He has anointed me to preach the gospel, to heal the brokenhearted, to set at liberty those who are oppressed," in Luke the 4th chapter. Just as Jesus found his identity in the Word, so too will you. The fact of the matter is this: you are who God says you are. Your talents, your abilities, they don't determine who you are. Your job, your social status doesn't determine who you are. Your family and friends don't determine who you are. Your mirror doesn't determine who you are. Only God determines who you really are. However, remember, I said this at the beginning, and it is so. Nobody else, not even God, can determine whether the real you will ever be expressed in life. That decision is entirely yours. So I encourage you to take the time to fill your heart with the Word of God. As you begin to understand what your Creator has to say about you, you are certain to find out your true identity in Him. So I invite you to just read along in the Bible with me. Why don't you join in? Because as you begin to understand what God has to say about you, your Creator, you'll find your true identity in Him. So let's make a confession today. Come on, say this with me. Father, I choose right now to believe I am who you say I am. I will not walk by my feelings, but rather by my faith in your word. Come on, say it with me now. As I come into agreement with you, I will become the person you created me to be. You are who God says you are. Who are you? Who are you? You are who God says you are. Well, this is Dash, and I am Carol Dixon.
We know you have been inspired. Your faith has been built, giving you a new perspective. Tell someone about Dash with Carol Dixon podcast. Someone you know needs to tune in. We're always on 24/7. Spread the word, won't you? We're helping you and many others with a positive, productive, and prayerful word. Thank you for joining us today. Take a moment now to leave a rating, review, and subscribe to our podcast app. On behalf of the entire team, thanks for listening to Dash with Carol Dixon.